have a comparison. There's the original. There's my version. So I'll click Create New. I'm going to choose Print A4. This step isn't overly important. Just don't choose anything crazy like film and video. Changing the name here to Captain Awesome. Logo demo. I'm going to go Create. So here's my artboard, this white space. I'm going to make sure it goes in the correct folder. So I'm going to click File, Save As. I'm going to navigate to the correct folder, Logo Tutorial, and then I'm going to click Save. And then this is going to pop up. I'm not going to change any of these options. Clicking OK. I'm going to place in a reference image, File, Place. The shortcut is Shift-Control-P. Here's my image, and I'm going to go Place. My logo is now loaded with one image. You'll see it says 1/1, and there's a little picture. So I'm going to click and holding down the left mouse button and then release. So this image is not big enough at the moment. I want this part with the star and the writing to occupy more space. I can use the selection tool, this black arrow, or I could push the letter V. I'm going to resize this, holding down Shift as I resize it so that the aspect ratio stays the same. If I don't, it'll become strangely squashed. I'm going to lock this object, clicking Object, Lock, the selection. And if I want to unlock that later, I can click Object, Unlock All. I'm going to zoom in this picture here of a magnifying glass, or I could push the letter Z. I'm going to click with my left mouse button, and if I want to, I can drag left and right, and it will zoom in. I'm going to now start with the background. I'm going to click the rectangle tool, and if I do that, it just puts a box. That's not what I'm after. So I can select it and push the delete key. So if I right click under the rectangle box, I can come down to Star Tool. If I click and pull, the default is a 5-point star. If I hold down Shift, it'll stay in that rotation. If I don't hold down Shift, I can turn it. I still am holding down my left mouse button, so I'm going to push this up button on my keyboard. So that's got 5 points, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think it's 14 points on that star. It's not the end of the world if I've got it wrong. So this is a 14-point star. It's filled with white and it has a black outline. I'm going to move it, so I'm going to use the selection tool or push the letter V. So if I push V, then I'm going to drag this and pop it in the middle. I'm now going to make this a little larger. So I'm going to grab the corner, still using my selection tool, and resize that until it's approximately right. It doesn't have to be perfect at the moment. I'm going to push H for the hand tool so I can grab and move. That's the easiest way to move around. Otherwise, if I'm scrolling up and down, or if you've got a left and right scroll key, you can do that on your mouse if you have one. Now I'm going to use the direct selection tool. When I click this, there are a couple of little parts that pop up, so I could make rounded corners. That's not what I'm after, so I'm going to Control Z and undo that. When I hover over these points at the corner, pink writing saying anchor turns up. So if I click that once, that one's black, the rest are white. So I can grab that one anchor point and I can move it. Now I can't see where I'm aiming because this shape is full of white. So if I come over here and click this one, the one that's rectangular, and it says fill, I want that to have no color. So if I hop down here and I click the word none, it's now got no fill. It's harder to see the edge or the line here. We call it stroke. So I'm going to make that a bright green color so I can see it. I'll change it back to black later on. So double click that stroke. I'm going to pull down to this green color, pick something really ugly and bright looking, and then go OK. I'm going to make that stroke thicker. If you can't see all of the options up the top here, click Essentials. It probably is on Essentials. Change it to Essentials Classic. Essentials doesn't have what I want. I like Essentials Classic. I'm going to change the stroke, which if it's not up along here, I'm going to Selection tool and then click it, and then I see different options. So I'm going to increase that size, makes it a little easier to see. Back to Direct Selection, or A. Click once, and make sure you're clicking on the anchor, and then I'm going to click each one and drop them. Click, click and grab. Click, release, click and drag. Click, release, click and drag and drop. So I'm going to keep going around here. Doesn't have to be exact, it's just a learning task. One click, and that one's black, the rest are white, and I drop them in place. Click, release, drag. Click, release, click, drag and drop. It's around about there. Click, release, drop. Now I'm going to speed the rest of this up now. Point out here, hitting the plus key, click, and remembering that that one is Direct Selection tool. So if my little finger on my left hand is sitting there on my keyboard, I can click it, drag. That's not the one I want. This is. Let's say I have one like that and I don't want it. Then I can subtract it. Come back over here and delete that anchor point. So I put one extra to show you subtracting the anchor point. This shape is what I want. I don't need it black though. Sorry, green. I want to make it black. So I'm going to come back over here and drag that down into black. And that stroke or line thickness is a little bit bigger than what I'm trying to recreate. But for video purposes, I'm going to leave it that thickness so that you can see it. The fill, if I double click on fill, I can give that a color. There's my green. But that's not what I want. It's not yellow, it's not red, it's not green, it's got a gradient. Down here is gradient. If I click that, I've got white to gray. I've got different types of gradient. This is linear. One side's white, the other side's black. I can change those if I want to. I'm going to come up to here and choose yellow and orange. That's the first point. But this type of gradient is still linear. I'm going to hover over the middle, and it says radial gradient, so I'm going to click that. So I've now got yellow in the middle, red around the outside. These handles, these sliders, can be moved around. I can also pull them off if I don't want them. So I'm going to move that median slider. This one I think I want to make a little bit more red. So perhaps I can move that around, make it a redder color. This is a different color system to what I prefer. Maybe I could just choose from a palette or use an eyedropper tool. I'm going to keep moving these sliders around and removing the ones I don't want, pulling that all the way across so it's largely yellow in the middle with some dark red over here. Moving that median slider. Going to zoom out, Z, click, slide to the left. Okay. So that's my background copy. And then I'm going to paste. If I paste just regular paste, it goes off to the side. I don't want that. I'm going to go edit, paste in place. And there's an exact copy on it. I'm going to rotate it. And there's my duplicate off to the side. This solid fill color, excuse me. Change that to purple. Going to make another one. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. Rotate that one slightly. If you want to make some changes, you can. I'm going to take that colored one, right click it and arrange, bring to front. So I've got my different versions. The line stroke thickness is too fat, so I'm going to click that and come up to stroke. If I want to use the stroke menu, I can get it from here, or I can get it across up the top here. So I'm going to decrease that to maybe 2 point, and that one 1 point, and this one 1 point. This purple I might make a little darker. Exact color matching is not required. I'm going to lock these, or perhaps do it in a different layer. So I think it's a good opportunity to show layers. So I'm going to go to layers over here. And if you can't find it there, you can go window, layers. I'm going to make a new one. Looking for the icon, create new layer. So this layer, I'm going to label text. And the first layer, layer 1, that's going to be star background. Making sure that I have the text layer highlighted. When I put things in here, there should be red outlines. The star outline will be blue. So if I click that, you'll see a blue outline. If I click in text, and then I'm going to deselect everything, I'm going to click type tool. And I'm going to click, just click, don't click and drag. If I click and drag, I bring out an entire paragraph. I don't want that. So selection tool, dump that one. I can hide my stars by clicking this eye. That didn't work because why? My image is in that same layer. So I'm going to create a new layer, layer 3. This is my reference picture. So I'm going to come back to my star background. I'm going to go Object, Unlock All, click that picture. I'm going to cut it, Control X, come to Reference Picture Layer, Control V, and Object Lock, possibly. I'm going to move it down a little bit first, so that's not lined up. Using my mouse keys. There we go. Now I can hide my stars, and it's not going to get in the way. You go Object, Lock, Selection. So now I can't grab my picture. I'm only going to work in my text layer for now. And here's my text with my red outline. I'm going to click the bottom right corner, holding down the Shift key. If I don't, then my aspect ratio is going to go crazy. So hold down Shift. And then I'm going to change the text in here, Control A or Command A, and I'm going to go Captain Awesome. This is all capitals. So caps lock, C-A-P-T-A, lowercase I, capital N, awesome. Now that text is probably not fat enough. Highlight all. And I'm going to come up to character, and I'm going to look for something that's bold and similar to this. So if I make some adjustments here, I can look down through a whole long list. I mean, it looks too different. I'm going to be changing a whole lot of stuff anyhow, so I don't want to be a little bit wasting my time. So I'll just go with that one. Doesn't really matter a great deal because I'm going to be moving it all around, but it's at least a little bit fatter. Next thing, I can't really do a lot with this because it is still typable. So if I start typing, I can put extra letters in. Well, get back to my text type tool. If I start typing, it's still text. If I've spelled something wrong, I can change it. But I'm going to convert this to shapes. At the moment, it's filled with white and it's got a black stroke. I'm going to keep it that way. Later on, I'll change it to red. So I'm going to rotate that around, plonk it about the right space. That doesn't look wide enough. And again, it's still text. So I'm going to convert this to shapes. Notice that there's a line underneath each of the sentences. I'm going to go Object and choose Expand. Look at one of the letters, and then I'm going to choose OK. Now when I click it, deselect and select again, try zooming in, you'll see these handles here. Now I can start to move these letters around. Can get a little bit tricky, especially with the curves. So I'll click that one, and these are white. This one I just clicked is dark. I'm going to pull it up here. It's going to start looking a bit crazy, especially these curves. So this curve has handles. This handle, or Bezier handle, I'm going to have to try to move in such a way that makes it flat. Don't want bends like that. I want it to look straight. So it's going to be a tangent coming across here. So grabbing handles, moving them around. If you find that this fill is annoying and you can't see where you're going, then you can change that letter to having no fill. Bezier handles take a little while to get the hang of. You might hear my clicking. Click once, and then click, grab, and drop. Then I can straighten this up. There are some straightening tools, and it's probably a good idea to show those now. So underneath one of these, I'm looking for it, Smooth tool. So it's underneath the Shaper tool. So if I hit Smooth tool, I should be able to make it a little larger. So I'm going to hit this, can't seem to make it larger, it's annoying. If I drag that around the line and then drop, drag, 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 it starts to make it smoother. That shape there I'm not that fond of, so I'll come up here to Anchor Point tool, click it, and that will drop some of these handles. This isn't curved enough, so if I click and pull, this side needs a curve, but that side doesn't. So if I click that one, it'll disappear and it becomes straight. So I've got a handle on one side. I'll probably have more curves there than I need. Direct selection. Don't be too fussy. Again, direct selection, one click, click again, release, click, drag and drop. A's are much easier because there's no curves. Oopsie daisy. Got to remember that click, release to one point is highlighted at a time. So again, that fill is a bit annoying. Can't see what I'm doing. These ones for some reason have handles on them. And I'm going to hit minus, get rid of, no, I won't get minus, get rid of that handle, anchor point, get rid of that anchor. There it is, there's the handle. Clicking and pulling, moving around, don't want those, just couldn't see where they were. There it is, it's on that side, click that and drop it. It'll do. H, grab, drop. V, click, pull, undo, just want that one. A for that handle, undo. Single click, making sure we've only got the one highlighted. One, hold down shift, 2, 3, 4, and I should be able to move that whole part. 1, hold down shift, 2, grab that, pull it over to here. Rotate these handles, make it tangent to the curve. One, hold down shift, 2, 3, 4, 5. Missed. A little tip, don't have handles overlapping each other. So if that one starts overlapping over here, you get weird bumps. Have these handles sort of pointing at each other, hopefully not crossing over on the inside, but pointing over on the outside. So shortcut keys. H, A, I think I've already done an A. Can I get that one? Control drag, nope. That one separately. Alt drag, there's my A. Shift click, Alt drag, there's my A. No, it's not going to work. I want to highlight all of that and ungroup them because they're currently grouped. Object, ungroup. Alt drag, there's an A. Save myself some bother. Coming back to layers, hide my reference picture, showing my logo, my background. Hey presto, done. Let's have a comparison. There's the original, there's my version.